Every time I turn around, he did it again. When I was sick, he healed me. When I was hungry, he fed me. When I was lonely, never left me alone. Every time I turn around, he did it again. Oh Lord, every time I turn around, he did it again. My Lord, every time I turn around, yes sir, he did it again. When I was sick, when I was hungry, when I was lonely, oh my Lord, every time I turn around, y'all know what? He did it again. Yes, he did it. He did it again. I thank you for healing my body. You did it again. You blessed me over and over again. Father, I give you thanks for everything you done. You watched over me day and night. You blessed my home. Lord, I'm grateful. Yes, sir, Lord. I never could have made it without you, Lord. You did it again. Father, I lift my hands toward you. Hey, say you did it. You did it again. Every time I turn around, you made miracle after miracle. Lord, I'm grateful that you did it for me. Lord, I'm thankful how you healed my body. Mama said every time that you turned around, you did miracle after miracle. And I'm grateful, Lord. Yeah, yeah. You did it again. Father, I'm thankful. You did it again. Oh, every time I turn around, yeah, Lord, you did it again. You did it again.
It's so great to know someone that constantly does it, even when we don't deserve it. He's constantly doing it again. That was Pastor Darrell Bass and the Delaware Boys with He Did It. Hey guys, how are you? This is Queen Alicia with Chopping It Up with Queen Alicia. And I am so glad to be in the number today. I am so glad to be here. And I hope you had a fabulous day. We have a fabulous guest, and his name is Cedric Barnett from the WJIC network. Right, you got to take your time because I want you guys to get this in. And listen, this is what first of all, I want to do. I want to thank those of you who are coming on to support Mrs. Cedric Barnett that do not know me. And I say, welcome to my platform. I thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope that this will not be the last time. Also, I would like to say thank you for those of you who have been in this room since the first day that we started the voice behind the mic. There's some of y'all that have been hanging in here since day one. And I want to say thank you. And I want to say, guess what? I see you. I notice you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Hello, Bobby. How are you? Hi, Alton. How you doing? Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. So I do want to say thank you for that because I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. So I'm asking once you come in that you will share this broadcast with at least 2 people. Thank you so much once again for chopping it up with Queen Alicia.
Come on, I need you to put your hand together. Come gonna have a little church with Pastor Moore right here. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Come on. Jesus will make a way. Jesus will make a way. Jesus will make a way. He will make a way. Yeah. Oh, Jesus will make a way. Yes, he will. Oh, yeah. Jesus will make a way. Hey, he will make a way. Whoa, Jesus will answer prayer. Say, oh, yes, he will. I'm so glad that he will answer prayer. Yeah, he will answer prayer. Let me say it again. Jesus will answer. He'll answer prayer. Can I get a witness in here? Yes, he will. Jesus will. Yeah. He will answer prayer. Yeah. Yeah. I got one more thing. He will turn it around. Yes, he will. I'm glad about it. Jesus will turn it. Yes, he will. He'll turn it around. He will. Yeah. Let me say it again. Listen. Jesus will turn it around. Yeah, yeah. He'll turn it around. Jesus will turn it around. Yes, he will. Jesus will. Oh, he will. Hey, he will. He will do it. I know he will. Jesus will do it. All you gotta do is trust him. God knows he will. He'll bring you out of darkness, bring you into the light. All you gotta do is hold on to his hand. He done it for Daniel in the lion's den. I'm telling you, yo, just hold to his hand. Yes, he will do it. Yeah, 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 he will. Yes, he will. I'm a living witness that Jesus will do it. Jesus will do it. Yes, he will. Yes, he'll do it. God knows he will. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll do it. Yes, sir. He'll do it. I know he'll do it. Yeah, he did it. He did it for mama. And I know he'll do it for me. Anybody know he'll do it? Yeah, I know he will. All you gotta do is trust him and hold to God's hand. He won't let you fall. He won't let you fall. All you gotta do is trust him, y'all. God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I like that. I like that. And you know what? If we didn't have to like basically like do this interview, you know I run that again, right? Y'all know I'll run that again. That was Yes, He'll Do It by Pastor David Moore. How many of you guys believe that he will do it? And again, despite of, right? Despite whatever it is, he will continuously do it. And I always say, if you don't know God, you better get to know him. We have a guest that's wonderful, wonderful in the things that he does on radio. He goes by the name of Cedric Barnett from the WJIC network. Always follow all of the guests that come onto this platform, guys. They are, how can they say it? The bomb, right? Is that the new word? I gotta ask my sons. They'll tell me what the new word is. But in my day, it used to be they're the bomb. Yeah, that's right. Every single one of them that has came on to the Chopping Up with Queen Alicia has been the bomb. Come on, y'all know that. Put it down there. Did you guys even invite two people? Invite some more people. Let's go. Invite, invite, invite. But again, I would like to thank you so much for coming on the Chopping It Up with your host, Queen Alicia.
Chopping it up with Queen Alicia, where every word is clear and true. From deep talks and open dialogue, join the conversation. Explore real relationships and pass the growth.
Chop it up with Alicia. The queen. This is the podcast you know you're gonna need, hun. Chop it up with Alicia J today. She's dropping the nuggets, the stuff you really wanna say on relationships and situationships. Married or single, and even if you wanna mingle. Chop it up with Alicia. Chop it up, the queen. Today. Yeah.
Discuss hot topics and let your knowledge flow.
The queen. Let's chop it up.
Entertainment and yes and no mix. Every conversation is a clear connected mix.
Let's chop it up.
Yes, 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 yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of The Voice Behind the Mic, a special feature of Chopping It Up with Queen Alicia. I am your host, Queen Alicia, and tonight we have the privilege of speaking with a respected voice in broadcasting and media, Mr. Cedric Barnett of the WJIC network. Behind every microphone is a story, a journey, and a purpose. Tonight, we will take a closer look at the man behind the broadcast as we discuss his experiences in radio, his passion for serving audiences, the impact of media in our communities, and the vision that continues to drive his work. Whether you're an artist, broadcaster, entrepreneur, or a ministry leader, or someone simply looking to be inspired, this conversation is sure to provide valuable insight and encouragement. So sit back and relax. Y'all know the deal. Get your popcorn, whatever you got to get, and join us as we go behind the mic with Cedric Barnett of the WJIC network. Please help me welcome our special guest for this evening, Mr. Cedric Barnett.
Name because that happens to be my queen's name too. How's everybody doing out there this evening?
We're doing wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the platform, Mr. Barnett.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a high privilege in order to be chopping it up with Queen Alicia. I need that theme song or something like that for me. So
yes, well, you gotta ask. I'll tell Tony D. He has to hook you up. Tony D is the one that's for Christian Sounds Entertainment. He's the one who did that for me.
Oh yeah, I'm very good friends with him. So he and I probably need to collaborate. Me on the keyboard, him on the bass. So we'll probably just do it up together. So
absolutely, because I know his show is on your network.
It is. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, of course, we have brought you in here tonight because we want to have a conversation about who Pastor Cedric Barnett is. Behind the mic. So do you want to give us a little scoop on who Pastor Cedric Barnett really is?
Well, I'm just a humble child of God, proud native of Montgomery, Alabama, almost lifelong native. In fact, I live right 15 minutes northwest of Montgomery, but lifelong native of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm the husband of one wife. In fact, we just celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary on this past Monday.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. son of two parents who just celebrated 61 years of marriage earlier this year. Uncle and godfather to two beautiful nieces, godfather to several more. But that's just me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where did radio start for you?
It started back in 1997. For a lot of people who know me from the industry know that I really started off as a musician with the Montgomery, Alabama chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America. And it happened back in March of 1997, where I was going around town where we were getting ready to do our anniversary program. And I went to radio station WXVI 1600 in Montgomery, Alabama. And there was a lady that was known as the Queen of Gospel, Connie Bryant. And so I went to her show and basically delivered the hand flyer. And then she said, well, Cedric, why aren't you doing this? I said, doing what? And she said, why aren't you on the radio? I mean, you with your long affiliation with the GMWA, you know the artists, you're a choir director, musician. So why aren't you doing this? And so as I was getting ready to leave the station, I passed by the program director, John Cedric, and I said, well, next time you need another voice on the radio, let me know. And he said, what? And I said, next time you need another. And it took me a minute to realize that he was absolutely serious.
Oh, wow.
So the following week, I trained under Ralph Featherstone, who was long time one of the major voices in Black radio back in that time. But I trained under him for a week. And I did something funny because he did a lot of traditional gospel. And he always had this quirk. He never broke the mic during the first hour. So I trained under him for Monday through Thursday. And then Friday he said, well, I'm going to let you run the first hour. And so I played a lot of the music that he normally did, but I made one mistake toward the end. And I put something on by Ricky Dillard. and then all of a sudden, John calls the phone and Ralph answers, hello, this is Love 16, Ralph Featherstone. And John said, put Cedric on the phone. And I'm saying, oh, God, what have I done? And he said, Cedric, you've been running the first hour, haven't you? I said, yes. I said, but how could you tell it was me? Because Ralph would never have put Ricky Dillard on there. And the following Sunday, I was the minister of music for Sunday Praise and Worship at WXVI 1600 AM. So that's how it all got started.
That's one thing that we didn't even discuss. We didn't discuss that especially when you are working with on radio stations that are like major radio stations, sometimes major, or let's say not owned by yourself, but owned by others. Sometimes you make mistakes.
Right.
And when you get that phone call and you're like, what did I do? But I'm quite sure that your mistakes, turned into something really, really good,
But it really did. I ran the Sunday afternoon shift for several months, and then by the time one of our announcers kind of stepped down for health reasons, they put me on to midday, where I was in between two legends, Reverend Charles Earl Thomas and Reverend Thomas E. Jordan, known as the Preacher Man. So I was the midday person, and then eventually ended up becoming the music director for the station.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. So tell us, what kind of person are you? Let's say forget radio.
Well,
what's your dirt?
I always like to say I'm probably the spiritual equivalent of Forrest Gump, because I just happen to be in the right places at the right time. Just, of course, being led by the Lord. My life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, That's right. Currently, besides running the WJIC network and WJIC Media Ministries, I also happen to work as an assistant chief engineer for WMCF TV here in Montgomery, Alabama, which is Trinity Broadcasting Network affiliate. And I've been affiliated loosely with TBN ever since 2000 up until now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You started off interning there. Funny thing, let me just go ahead and tell you this. Right before I was about to graduate from Auburn University with my degree in mass communications, WXVI ended up selling to a church, and they basically laid everybody else off before the sale. And I had to do an internship, so I was counting on my job in order to intern. But when they turned me down, I went to the local TBN station. I had a very good friend by the name of Bishop Aaron Motley, who's the station manager, and I asked him to be able to do an internship there. So he allowed me to intern in that December. I graduated with my degree. And then I started working part-time there, doing master control and floor directing for our live performance, our live broadcast in 2002. Then in 2006, ended up being the automated master control operator. So I say everything I've learned how to do as far as programming a radio station, I really learned being the automated master control operator for WMCF TV.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and,
Wow.
and worked there from then until they closed the station in 2018. And then 2019, that's when I started working as a contractor, being the assistant chief engineer there. So.
Yeah, some of us don't realize, like, unless you have platforms like this that you can bring someone on, you really don't know, like I would never have thought that you went through all of those, places, and had that much experience, unless I brought you on here tonight. So I'm glad I did bring you on here tonight.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the artist.
Mm-hmm.
How did you start, I don't know, adding music to your station? Like, what's your, when artists send their music, what is it that you're looking for?
Well, I'll say this. When I was working with WHVI, especially when I was doing the midday shift, I kind of got in trouble being the music director because I would be the one, in order to try to bring on independent artists that people hadn't heard before. But of course, everybody has their favorites with the A-listers. Everybody knows the John P. Keys, the Kirk Franklins, the Donnie McClurkins, the Mary Marys, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, the Spiritual Voices. Of course, we're down here in the heart of quartet country in Alabama. So, of course, a lot of the major quartets. But me being a musician, me being choir director, minister of music, I listen to people who have the same type of quality, but simply don't have the ability to go ahead and get it on mainstream. So basically, I listen for quality, but most of all, being a minister, being a musician, being a pastor, and everything else, if it ministers to me, then I know it will minister to somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think is missing, though, in today's artists versus when you, let's say, started?
Authenticity. Pure and simple. Be true to yourself. Don't try. I always tell people, especially when I'm directing choirs or teaching parts, or even when I'm working with artists during the different award shows and everything else, I say, first of all, be true to who God calls you to be. And secondly, be true to yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. God only made one Kirk Franklin. He only made one Erica Campbell. He only made one of them.
That's right.
So don't try to be anybody else. I mean, if they influence you, good, great. But be true to yourself and to the ministry that God gave you.
That's true. That's true. Why do you think that artists are not being true?
Probably because they're trying to be noticed, and they feel as if, well, if I have to be a certain way, or I have to do something like this artist or that artist in order to be seen. But really, to be honest, if the Lord gave you the song, if he gave you the ministry, just be true to what he's called you to do. And I'm the perfect example. I never would have thought that I would have been owning a radio station or a ministry, but the fact of the matter is, I am who I am, and because I stayed true to his word, true to who he called me to be, that's why we're having this conversation right now.
That's right. That's right. You know, a lot of, and it's not just artists, and we're not talking about every artist because you know, it's some artists, you know.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, a lot of artists, they don't like the criticism. They don't like to do no better. It's like they feel as though, like, I don't know. Let's I'm gonna give you an example because I do keep it real on this platform. So
Okay.
you
All right.
have some artists that comes to you and they'll say, okay, can my music be played on your station? But they never follow up and say, why is it that Queen Alicia did not play my music?
Mhm.
It's like we don't want to hear the bad, you know, but we're
Mhm.
okay with the good, you know.
Well, I take a very unique perspective on that. The Bible says, "Beware when all men speak well of you."
Mm,
So, if you're really doing the Lord's work, you're going to get some criticism. You're going to get some pushback in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You have to be mature enough in order to be able to take it as constant criticism. Whenever I speak with an artist and talk to them about their music, I'd let them know, look, I'm a musician myself. I
that's
may not
right.
be an artist, but I know what I'm looking for.
That's right.
With a lot of audio and video production that I've done
Mhm.
and presently continue to do, we look for quality. I
That's
mean,
right.
if representing the kingdom, you've got to make sure that what you're doing is quality.
That's right.
The Lord calls us to a spirit of excellence. So if you're not doing it in the spirit of excellence, then why are you doing it?
That's right. That's right. Excellence. And you're not the first radio station host that has came onto this platform and said excellence. So how do you tell an artist? Wow. I had to say
Well,
wow to that one. How do you tell an artist?
well, I basically try to treat them like, of course, I'm 60 years old, so I'm probably older than a lot of the artists right now. But I try to tell them like, I'm speaking to my brother, I'm speaking to my sister, I'm speaking to a son or a daughter. You want to try to go ahead and give them some way in order to try to improve them, and hope that they don't take it as you're trying to talk down to them.
That's right. That's right. We want to say some shout outs here. We have James Tubman Jr. We want to
Bishop, how you doing, man?
We have Gina Jones. She was also a host that came on to the platform. We have
Mhm.
Tony D. Tony D just came in. Tony, he needs a theme music. Get get it together for Pastor. He needs one. So
Yeah,
get that together.
the next.
Leo Brown is in the house too. He's here.
Shout out to Leo the Lion. Hey,
Bruce Calvin is in here.
wow.
Bobby Nicholson. Did I say
Wow.
Bobby? I think I said Jeffrey Clark.
Whew.
Yeah, you got Jesse Preacher Man Burgess. He was on the other night.
Yeah, I watched that interview the other night, trying to make sure I knew what I was getting into by the time we got here. So,
Right, right. So we thank all of you guys for coming on and chopping it up with us. And Apostle, oh my God, Solomon. That's I can't say your middle name. Thank you so much for coming in and chopping it up.
thank
Do
you.
you think that all artists are prepared to grace a stage, such as the Stella stage?
No, honestly, not. And I don't say that to criticize them, but quite frankly, um, if I'm looking for an artist, basically one of the first questions I ask them is, how active are you within your church? Because
Mm,
because if you're not on the praise team, or if you're not in the choir in your church, and yet you say you want to be an artist, how can you expect to grace the grand stages if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing at home?
mm. That's good. That's good.
Hmm.
That's good. There's a lot of us, I sit and I watch some artists that are on social media,
Hmm.
and you wait for those videos that show you that they were singing somewhere, that they were ministering somewhere.
Hmm.
So they get nominated
Right.
and they think that that's enough.
Mm-mm.
That's it. I get, my music placed on several radio stations.
Hmm.
They feel that's enough. So after the nomination,
Hmm.
what should they be doing?
Um, Basically, go ahead and promote yourself. My dad always told me it's a sorry dog that won't wag its own tail. So try to go ahead and put yourself out there in the most positive light, but also reach out to the people who are putting your music on the radio.
Mm,
You can reach out to us through social media. You can, if you have that type of relationship with us, you can call us. But basically, just let everybody know what you're trying to do.
that's right. That's right. That's right. So many of us though have a problem with. I was talking to Melva last night. Do you know Melva? What is
Uh,
her station? I forgot. I know you know her. If I forgot her last name, I don't know. I went blank. I love her so much.
I,
And
I probably recall it once say it, but
yeah, yeah. And we were talking and discussing how God does not want us to work alone.
Mm-mm,
That was the topic of the discussion, and how God truly does send people here to help you fulfill your purpose, you
absolutely.
know. But some of us, we don't want to do that. We feel if I allow someone in,
Mhm.
then they may not like what I'm doing, you know. They may talk bad about my music, and I'm going to feel some kind of way. So
Well,
how do we let people in?
it's basically all about relationship.
Mm,
Like I say, when I go to some of these award shows, I'm seeing a lot of the artists. I'll just go up and speak to them and say, "Hi, I'm Pastor Seth
mhm,
Barnett with the WJIC network. I've been listening to your music, really enjoy it, and just try to go ahead and reach out to them. But you can't be so grand with your music or with your ministry that you feel as if you're untouchable,
mm,
because once I pick up that spirit, then it's going to be hard in order to try to establish any type of relationship with me.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's important, like the relation. Now, another question is, when you said that you go up to the artists,
Mhm.
have you had any artists come up to you?
Oh yeah. Once I remember the first time I attended the Spin Awards back in 2023, and I've been playing because one thing. Before I do anything else, I want to shout out my big brother Dalton Anderson, who's up in the New
Yes.
York area. But Dalton runs the flagship show for our station, which is called Heaven's Joy. And Dalton and I have a relationship that goes all the way back to GMWA, where we were part of the Gospel Announcers Guild, and we would get together and introduce all the different choirs and artists through the night, the showcases. So our relationship goes all the way back. So because I try to treat everybody like family, when they go on Heaven's Joy, we say, "Welcome to the family."
Right.
We're already the family of God, but if Dalton and I feel that we're good enough in order to go ahead and do that, we're on family. So when I go to these award shows, and they know Dalton, but I'm the one behind the scenes right here. I'm the one
Right.
who's actually programming the station. I'm the technician, and that's the place where I like to be. So when they hear my name, Pastor Cedric Barnett with the WJIC network, they say, "No, I'm so glad to meet you. Thank you for playing my music, etc., etc." I said, "The pleasure's all mine. It's been ministering to me, so it's good to know you." So
Right. And I know that makes you feel really good, right?
it does, because, like I say, I I get out there simply because that's what the Lord called me to do. He called me to preach. He called me to teach. He called me to play. But behind the scenes, I'm really one of those introverts right there.
Mhm.
Introvert by nature, but getting out there by choice. So when somebody comes up and says that they recognize you, especially when they've been out there, I'm just as honored as they are.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? First of all, I wanted to say hello. Thank you, Tracy Morgan, for coming in.
Hey,
He said, okay,
Tracy.
Pastor C. Chill with Teddy Ray. What's going on? You
Amen.
know what? I'm going to talk about something really, really fast and quick. In today's world on social media,
Mm-hmm.
we have the quartet industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we have some things that's going on. And it's basically, I'm going to say this, it's not just quartet. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
No, it's not.
It's not. And when they say quartet, I go, no. And I thought today, I said, I need to talk about this. This is what was said in the live today. We have people that claim to be going to church, claim to be artists. I'm not going to say quartet, I'm just going to say artists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Smoking weed before they hit the stage. We got people sleeping with people's wives. We got people stealing money. We got people lying to one another. We got people that's afraid to stand up and say something's wrong in this industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem. There's a serious problem. And what's happening is people look at us, the ones who have been chosen, right? I've been in church all my life, right?
So
I
good.
understand the difference. I understand that when I go to church, I'm not going to church for a pastor or anybody. I'm going to church to hear the word. I'm going to church for myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? But so many people are looking at people and they're saying, why are you in the church singing? God called you and you're doing these things. You're smoking weed before you hit the stage. You're stealing. You're doing all of these things. Can you talk about that?
Well, it's it's funny because my wife grew up in a small town of Swainsboro, Georgia, which is right outside of Augusta, Macon, and Savannah. And her father was not just in the quartet, but also quartet promoter. And she used to tell me all these stories about some of the very things that you're talking about, and you're right. It's not just quartet, it's in the church. You got a lot of pastors that are behind the scenes doing these same things, a lot of choir directors. But the crazy thing about it is this: even if we're not living up to the life that God calls us to live, he still uses broken vessels.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact now of course, we need to try to strive in order to make sure that the life that we are living is consistent with the gospel that we've been called to preach, that we've been called to sing, that we've been called to minister. And it does bring down the perception of the body of Christ because a lot of us are guilty by association.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But the fact of the matter is, if God can use broken vessels like that and still do that, it's incumbent upon us in order to make sure that we're living the life that we preach about, we're living the life that we sing about, we're living the life that honors Christ and honors God. I mean, after all, he used a donkey in order to speak to a rebellious prophet.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And we have to understand too, just to clear the airwaves, when you hear someone that says that I'm sick of church folks.
Yeah. in fact, I was talking with my brother-in-law just the other day. He said, life would be great if it weren't for people and church folks, especially. and he's a pastor of a church. But I would just simply say, let us strive to do what we can do.
That's right. That's right.
And of course, we need to be careful when we're judging others, even when we see it. Because God said, you hypocrite, how can you talk about the speck in your brother's eye and you don't see the log that's in your own?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I said to the individual today, it was like, people are not perfect. The only perfect one is God. And I think I don't know. I think we think that because we're in the church that we're, I don't know, we should be something else.
Once again, it goes back to authenticity. As long as you have your personal relationship with the Lord the way that it needs to be, then it's going to come out. What did Jesus say? By your fruits you shall know them.
That's right. That's right.
And if people are seeing the fruit of your personal life, whether it's on social media or live up close and in person, and it's not gelling with the gospel that you're doing, then you're compromising the gospel. I mean, you want to know what the WJIC network is all about? It's where Jesus is Christ, where Jesus is cool, but where Jesus isn't compromised. So I just told you what the WJIC network stands for.
Yes. You know, and we have to understand too, we can't let anyone take us out of who we know God to be. Because see, that's what Satan likes. He wants that.
Right.
You know, we got all of this confusion around here, you know, and they're talking about, you know, the artists or the quartet industry. But don't let anything take you out of who you know him to be.
Exactly.
Because it can happen. Now the next person might start going, oh, these church folks. It's not about the church folks. It's just like you said, what about you? What's your relationship with God?
And if the hypocrites in the church basically are preventing you from going to church, I'd rather be with the hypocrites in the church than die with Jesus than die a hypocrite without him.
That's right. That's right. You know, I learned that at a young age. Tony D said it's a heart issue. Everyone has struggles, but we all have to do our best to align ourselves with the word so we can eventually get our hearts right. Then our actions will be better.
And my attitude is there, but for the grace of God, go I. I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect.
That's right.
But the fact of the matter is, it's only by His grace that we do what we do.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. And you know, I see and I hear some of the lives that go on, and you have artists that are like in the lives going like, it's not me. Like, it's not everyone in quartet. We have to stop saying that. It's not all artists.
No, it's not. It's not everyone. But as I used to learn when I used to run track when I was in high school, stay in your lane.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Artists, it's true. So just be careful. I say that to say, y'all, just be careful over the drama that's online.
Exactly.
And again, don't let anyone separate you from the love of God.
Absolutely.
No, nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what they say, you know, but you must know him for yourself, because when you know him for yourself, then you will be able to produce the music that God wants us to produce.
Exactly. Truly. Speak
on that, music production. What kind of music do you want to hear come through your inbox?
Quality music, basically. Now, I am, if you've ever heard the WJIC network, I would say that it's probably a unicorn, because I would say it's more of a ministry station. It's not a totally gospel station. It's not totally CCM. Basically, I take the position of Paul in 1 Corinthians 9, 17 through 23, where he says, I try to become all things to all people so that by my example, I may reach some for Christ. So when I'm looking for music, I always have what I call a 90-second rule. Of course, in radio, we normally try to keep everything between 3 and 4 minutes. So I'm listening for the first 90 seconds. If you got a hook that's longer than 30 seconds, then you're almost already halfway out the door, unless you got a 6 or 7 minute song. But once I hear the first verse and then the chorus or the hook, I'm trying to say, if you can keep me past that 90 seconds, then pretty much you got a chance of making it onto the station there.
Yeah, that's the same thing Preacher Man said. That's what he said too. And it reminded me of, again, I told him being on the Apollo, and then Mr. Sandman come and he tells me you got to go. Yeah, you have to go. What do you want people to say about when you leave here, the WJIC network?
When even from the time when I started off at WHDI and all through my iterations when I was on internet radio with the Praise Party with Pastor Said, and even with my podcast, Can I Change Your Mind? I always used to sign off with this tagline. And of course, if you ever receive any type of comment from me on Facebook or social media, I always add, continue to be blessed. But it said, continue to be blessed and continue to be a blessing, because the Lord does not bless us except he intends for us to be a blessing to someone else. So I one time said, if you want to put something on my tombstone, 6 words: he was blessed to bless others.
Wow. I like that. He was blessed to bless others. So when you said that, I thought about something. Does artists support each other? That's the problem too. We are so busy competing.
Yes. Well, whether it's quartets, whether solo artists, whether it's choirs, choir directors, praise and worship teams, and I have to admit, I had to kind of overcome that spirit of competition myself, because my family would tell you I'm very competitive when it comes to games, sportsmanship, and anything else. It's not by winning at all costs, but I want to beat you at your best. But
right.
But when we're talking about supporting each other, one thing I absolutely love about the Spin Awards when I go every year is the family relationship. A lot of these artists have been supporting each other, praying for each other, lifting each other up. Very rarely when you come into that type of atmosphere where you're seeing somebody tear each other down.
That's true. That's true. And it's so important, man. I can say that too. When I went to the Spin Awards, the artists, wanting to know each other, which is big, wanting to talk to each other, mingle with each other. And
And the thing is, because they all share the same thing, they're all independent artists.
That's right.
And the thing about it is, if they don't lift each other up, who else is going to lift them up?
Right. That's absolutely right. We want to say hello to Bishop of Music, Mr. Julius Carson, Joseph Harvard. How you doing? Quebec. Maya, good evening. Who else did I say? Who else? Siobhan, hello. How are you guys doing? Yeah, it's important because, we have to support each other because literally we're dealing with the same things.
Right. And one thing I want to go ahead and shout out, I know she's probably on another interview right now, but my sister, Donald Walton, who is the founding president of the not just the Donald Walton Gospel Network, but the Global Indie 100 Radio Coalition, which I am privileged to serve as the director of digital strategy, which means I am the one who basically not only helps update the website, but also all the social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but we are a coalition of, right now, we've got about 65 stations, but we're trying to reach our goal of 100 stations, where our main goal is to lift up the independent artists and to give them airplay all around the world. We are 100 stations with one voice for global impact. So just wanted to go ahead and put that out there as well.
So for the indie, how are these artists chosen? How do you guys choose these artists? And are you choosing everybody?
It's
Is
not
there some you say no?
it's not necessarily that we're choosing them, but we invite them to become a part of it. Not just as a radio station, but also as an independent artist, because we want to go ahead and feature your music out there. We want to go ahead and put it on onto our platform where we can support you through all the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, however you stream your music and try to get it out there. We try to lift it up. Basically, what we do every month is all the member stations submit artists that they have been supporting, and we put it all into a big folder. And of course, it's not necessarily gospel or CCM. We do smooth jazz. We do a lot of Afro beats. We do holy hip hop, Christian hip hop, basically because, like I say, we're putting you out before a worldwide audience.
Right.
So a lot of the independent art, and we also invite them to come to our webpage, which is 100globalradios.org, and click on the artist directory, and it will show you how you can join it, because we want to help promote you. A lot of the artists have problems when they don't have a promoter or a manager, but we want to go ahead and give them the opportunity to help promote themselves and help us, and let us help you to promote your music, promote your ministry to a worldwide platform.
So, but my question is, like, because I'm also an artist too, and I have had people just ask me in regards to that network, the Global Indie. I know you said that we're not choosing you. However, that would mean that anybody, if they, can submit their music.
Yes.
Are you listening to the artist as to how they sound or the vocal quality before you say, okay, we're going to stand behind you now?
Yeah, it goes back
and promote.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying as far as what I'm listening to, because like I said, the WJIC network is just one of many on there. And so we basically listen to the music that our sister stations all around the world are submitting. And basically, I'm listening for the same thing. If it's good enough in order to go onto the WJIC network, it will go onto rotation on the WJIC network. Just like if you had a radio station and you're going into the folder, you hear artists that you like, or you hear artists that are ministering to you, you have that choice in order to go ahead and add it to your station.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. I'd like to keep it real here. I've listened to some, and I'm like, they're not good.
Right.
So I'm just gonna keep it real and say,
I get it, because
like I'm hearing the notes. See, you talking to someone that had 20 years. I'm a singer by my dad and everything. It's in our family, and then I got 20 years on me, 15 to 20 years of vocal training.
Right.
So, and I'm working on my music now, but I listen to the vocal, the highs and the lows and the pitches of some artists, and I'm like,
Now, is that the artist?
That's on the Global Network, and I'm saying,
but is that the artists themselves, or is that the production quality?
No, it's the artists.
Okay.
How you take that music away from them and say, now sing.
Yeah, I heard you when you were talking with Preacher Man the other night. They say if you can't sing a cappella, you really can't sing. So
yeah. So Tony D says, what about radio support? As a radio promoter, it's sometimes hard to get support from some radio stations and radio programmers. You send emails and make phone calls, and it's crickets. It would help if the stations could do their due diligence as much as they can.
I agree with them. I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for what we do here, but it's all about relationships, like I said, several of the people that you mentioned earlier this evening are promoters. And so, and I'm thankful to say that I have very close relationship, working relationship, professional relationship with most of them. So normally if they're submitting anything to me, my relationship with that particular promoter or manager or whatnot, because I know they're not going to send me junk. You know, if they're sending me somebody, then more than likely it's going to be added.
Yeah, yeah. You know, let's be truthful to some stations. Some stations are huge stations, and they say they support independent artists. And when you submit the music, they don't support it. They don't support it. And I mean, top of the launch. Like, you know, you got a lot of these indies out here that they can sing, you know, just as good as the majors.
Absolutely.
I mean, Lonnie Hunter, you know, that's that used to be my minister of music. And we were talking about this one day. He's an indie, you know. We got some indies that can sing just as good, you know, and still they don't play their music.
In fact, when I was still at WXVI when the Drip Drop song came off, and I played that for the first time, and a lot of people saying, "What is that?" I said, "You have to watch this one. He's going to be doing things, and look at what he's done now. He's got his own radio station, Stellar Award winner. So, like I say, you just have to know."
Yeah. And you know, a lot of times when we go to these award shows, they have workshops that you appear at, and here you have independent artists sitting there, you know, and with a lot of let's say the major radio station hosts there, and they're asking questions because they're in need. They want their music to be played on these stations, and they're giving them information. But in my head, I'm like, the majors are still not going to play. So it's like, why don't you just be honest and say, we can't play your music? Like literally, you know, the independent radio stations can, but we can't.
And the reason for that is simply commercial. Because especially when you deal with a lot of these conglomerates like iHeartRadio, Rejoice Music, Soul Food. Basically, they know that, and it's not to say that the presenters that are on there do not try to promote independent artists, but in order for the radio stations to get paid, at least the ones that are still locally owned and operated, you got to bring the people that are on there that will listen to the commercials, because the commercials are really what run commercial radio. Whether you're on Sirius XM, iHeartRadio, Rejoice Music, so quite naturally, it's going to be harder for the independents to get on there unless it's just absolutely on fire and really catch the major host attention.
Right, or if they're nominated or win a Stellar, now you wanna bring them on. See, I was like, no, that's okay. If you didn't get me then, you don't want me now. I'm bad. So Tony said relationships are important, but if you don't have a relationship with an artist or a promoter and this song is good, see, that's the main thing. It should be played, and that's what I was saying. It should.
Okay. And I agree. I really do.
Yeah. Tracy Morgan is saying the artists also need to stand out. Programmers receive a lot of music daily. The artists who are prepared, respectful of the process, and that's good. But listen to this. We are not going to be able. I cannot pick up a phone if I was an artist and call and speak to Tracy Morgan. There's a gatekeeper.
Exactly.
Somebody is, so let's be for real about that. Nobody's because I've done it in 2007 that I put at my first one, and I was calling stations. They would not let me talk to that person that was on that radio. So I don't know. Yeah, we can stand out. I mean, I've sent CDs at that time. Nobody contacted me. Nothing. No email. I have literally sent, as a manager too, on the side, I've sent my music to the artists. For the artists to stations. And guess what? I haven't even gotten a denial. And these are good artists. So I don't know. I mean, Tracy Morgan about that one, because I don't. That sounds good, but the gatekeeper gonna knock you out. That's all the time.
Well, that's why you had to have independent gatekeepers to try to make sure that you get the music out there. Because every programmer, every program director, music director, station owner, station manager is a gatekeeper in some way. You just have to know the right gatekeeper in order to try to get your music on there. And you don't know that gatekeeper may be the one to open the floodgates for to get you on a major station. You just simply don't know.
That's true. You know what I think too? I think that some artists do, but again, it don't matter because sometimes if you don't click with them, if they don't care for you, if you don't have the money right too, it's money thing too. It's a lot going, it's a lot that goes into play. It's money.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
no doubt.
Yeah. Yes. So, what would you say for an artist that's getting started?
Mm-hmm.
They're hearing all of this and they're like, oh boy.
Once again, be authentic. Secondly, be approachable. Don't put yourself out there like I'm the second coming of Whitney Houston or whatever else, Right. But like I say, be authentic and be approachable. If there's somebody that you want to go to, just go up there and just speak to them in a certain type of way. It's just like what Jesus said, don't try to push yourself up to the front because God will humble the exalted, but he will exalt the humble. It's a bit better to be asked up than asked down, basically.
That's right. So Tony D says the business of radio gets in the way sometimes too much. I think so too.
Absolutely.
Some of the folks would not play a song if Jesus was singing. It's true. It's the truth.
You're right. Absolutely.
It's the truth. I mean, let's be for real. I can go down. Listen, I sent music of artists. If you are a station that's on the gospel station charts, I sent it several times. All of those stations. And guess what? Some of the major ones, they don't. And let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you something else. And maybe I shouldn't do this. I mean, as a host, it's like this. Like, Pastor, I came onto your email and your messenger, and I say, "Hi, how you doing?" I introduced myself to you.
Mm-hmm.
You got radio station hosts not gonna do that. I introduced myself to you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we keep looking at it should be artists. It's like if you see a new single that comes out, how come you can't reach out to the artist? Is that a problem? I'm just asking.
Well, once again, it goes back to how Dalton and I approached with Heaven's Joy. Every time we go ahead and put out a list of who we're going to be featuring on that same month, I always try to make it a habit to go ahead and follow them on social media.
Right, that's good.
And basically, I try to go ahead and keep up with. Give you a prime example. You mentioned that James Bishop Tubman was listening earlier this evening. Once we went ahead and added his music to Heaven's Joy, I reached out to him, and a couple of days later, he had a birthday. So I just reached out to him and said, "Happy birthday to you! Continue to be blessed."
That's nice.
And so that's one of the keys right there. If you have a program and you're adding artists on there, and they reach out to you and say, "Thank you for adding our music," go ahead and befriend them.
That's right.
Because I share a secret with you, and I shared this with both my nieces as they were growing up and they were on social media. I said, watch what you do now on social media because you never know who's watching. That's and right. Of course, as they're growing up, in fact, my oldest niece just graduated this past year as a JAG officer, and she's going to be promoted to captain next week. So. And then my youngest niece has her MBA. She's getting ready to go into the Air Force as an officer. But I always tell them, watch what you're putting out on social media because you never know who's watching.
That's right.
And you never know who's going to be favoring you because they're watching what you do.
That's right. My whole thing was, I saw everybody, going on, like, when they get nominated, everybody goes onto social media.
Oh,
You
absolutely. Yeah.
see, here they come. People don't know. I mean, everybody, like right now you got everybody from the Spin Awards. They going
Right.
up on there.
Right.
We ain't seen you in December. Now you coming up there. I'm here. I am. I think that there's a problem. I think, and it came to me one morning when I woke up, and something said to me, you know what? God wants us to go just that hard for Him in all of those rest of those months.
Absolutely.
Instead of, and I get it. I've been told people love awards, Alicia. I've been told that, and I get it. But what I'm saying is really because, like I told you, my parents, they passed away, right? And all of their awards in church are still here.
Right.
They didn't go in the coffin with that, but what we remembered about them being consistent.
Right.
My mom was a deaconess. My dad was a president of the male chorus, being consistent. But see, we have people, and I'm just going to say it, in radio, and we got artists that aren't consistent. So we don't know you. How can we have a relationship with you when we don't know you until there's an award time? Now you're going, here I am. What's the problem?
Well, speaking as a 10-time Spin Award winner myself,
yes.
The main thing is when it's all said and done, all the awards are going to do is be nothing more than crowns that we lay at our Savior's feet.
That's right. Yes.
So if you're in it for the awards, then that's one thing. But because the question I'm going to ask you at that time is, whose kingdom are you representing? Are you representing your own, or are you representing the kingdom of God?
That's right.
So if you can be humble enough to be able to put yourself out there even before award season starts, or if you're given the award, that's just nothing but the Lord shining His favor on you.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? Because see, Tony just made a comment and says, "How can anyone block a song with a wonderful message that could change lives, and you don't play it because it's unknown?" That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me too.
It's
because
crazy. Yeah.
at the end of the day, if the vocals and all of that stuff line up, listen, God wants the message to get across.
And that's
for you to stop it.
And that's the main thing. As I said, if Queen Alicia sent me a song that, like I say, if I'm drawn into it in the first 90 seconds and you keep me past that right. minute and a half mark, because the message that is coming through and the quality in which you're doing it is doing there, then quite naturally, if it's going to minister to me, of course I'm going to want to share that to the world. That's because right. It ministers to me, and if it ministers to me, it should be able to minister to somebody else as well.
That's right. That's right. We can't sit there and go, you know what, I'm gonna play Kirk Franklin instead. Like, that's crazy.
And it's crazy because as long as I've been affiliated with the Gospel Music Workshop of America, I know quite a few of the major artists. So just like I'm watching the behavior of the independent artists, I'm watching the behavior of the majors as well.
Yes, right. Well, we thank you so much for coming on here. We got Kelvin Lundy is on here too. Hey G, what's going on? A lot of people have been following and listening, and I appreciate you guys. Go follow Pastor Cedric Barnett.
Thank you.
Follow him. Whatever he's into, just be there. When he needs your vote for him, because he's connected to good ground, and that's the important part. Now talk about that one, being affiliated with good ground.
Well, once again, it goes back to me being the spiritual Forrest Gump, basically being in the right places at the right time. But it's just simply the favor of the Lord. If you want to follow us, WJICnet.com is our website. We are on social media, like I said. In fact, we do have our own mobile app. So if you go to Apple App Store or Google Play Store. You can download us and carry us with you on your mobile device. And in fact, in our efforts in order to spread the gospel by any means necessary, we're now on Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So you can carry us with you wherever you go, wherever you drive. And then also, because it is a media ministry, we have our YouTube channel, WJIC Media Creators. Normally, we put out a prayer video every evening. And of course, I try to do a teaching segment every Wednesday and every Sunday. We've been on a brief sabbatical as far as the teaching, but we're going to be adding that back next week. But as I say, I'm very easy in order to reach. If you have any music, submit it to wjicnet@outlook.com, and we'll go ahead and try to do our best in order to try to support you.
That's awesome. So Tracy Markin said, that's true, but are all programmers really blocking music, or are most of them busy handling day-to-day operations? Radio is much more than music. And I understand, because I worked in the traffic department for 15 years. So I get that.
So
but guess what?
So you and I share that same background there.
Okay, great. But guess what? I do know one thing. I can't walk around here and say I support independent artists when I'm not playing their music.
Right.
I do know that. And if people are sending me music to be played, which, like I told you, I send my music, all of those, if you're on there, I've sent it. And there's been many that I have not received. Okay, this needs this, or I haven't received anything. So I just haven't received. So to me, when you say that you support, but I see that other people's music are being played. Maybe the ones that are cliquish with the people. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, we have to do better is what I'm saying. I know everybody has lives, but I'm so used to being in that. Like I said, I've been an artist for since 5, you know, I've been singing, and I've seen some crooked stuff go out, and it's not what God wants.
Right.
He doesn't want that. I mean, look, I'm busy. Pray, ask God to give you strength to conquer everything that you need to conquer. But we have to be fair. I'm always telling people, I can't literally put favoritisms with the people, my artists. I can't. Why? Because now it makes me look like I'm only concerned about my artist.
Right.
God doesn't want us to be that way. He wants us to be. We are including everyone in this. We're all a team, you know, and I think that that's where it all, you know, it just, you know, it gets messed up. I don't know you. I don't know nothing about you. Now, all of a sudden, I'm not going to play your music because I don't know you. But just because you don't know me, that doesn't mean that you can't get to know me.
Right. Because
I could be a great artist just like that one over there. So I just think that we really have to be for, you know, we have to be for the kingdom. Exactly. And I don't think that we're all for the kingdom. I'm sorry. I think that we're all for favoritisms. Sorry.
Well, once again, it goes back to being authentic to the Lord and being authentic to yourself, you know, and what is it? Once again, by their fruits, you shall know them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not. I mean, we're not out here trying to be fruit inspectors, but quite frankly, what's in you is going to come out of you.
That's right. Yeah, Tracy said a lot. I play a lot of independent artists, too many to count. I just don't shout about it every time. I just add songs. Well, like I said, I sent my music, a lot of people's music, because I don't just send my artists. I send other people's music. And I'm not saying who didn't play it, but they don't. They only play the ones that they might see, you know, then that's the ones that they play, you know? Right. But there's a lot of good artists that's out there, a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And why haven't you sent me your music yet?
Well, I told you. So this is the case. So listen to this. So now I'm gonna tell you the truth. Come on, let's listen. So, Pastor, in 2007, I didn't know anything about. I was working at WCBS radio back in the day, right? I did a lot. I told you I worked at a lot of stations. Then I went on the Magic 90, Q102 in Philadelphia. It was a lot of them. I worked about 5 of them, okay? Because my bosses kept pulling me. Because you're a traffic manager. They want you to be with them when they leave. So it was like pull, pull, pull.
Right.
So, but in 2007, I really didn't know about this music industry, the industry part. Now singing, that's totally different.
Right.
Hitting the stage, I could sing on the stage. I sung at Symphony Hall. Symphony Hall had some in Newark, New Jersey, had some of the big artists there on the stage. Now I could do that. But as far as knowing how to get my music out there, I was clueless. So my crazy self went and nobody told me. I did an album, a whole CD. That was my first thing I put out. And I can send it to you, let you hear it. But I don't talk about it now because, yes, was it good? Yes, it was good. But it doesn't reflect my voice now. My voice is more powerful now because there's some things that I've been through.
It's maturity. I mean, you really cannot testify what you haven't been through.
Right.
If you haven't been tested, you don't have a testimony. And that testimony will always come out in your music if you're producing it. And it's also maturity too. I mean, I certainly don't sound like what I sounded like back in 2007 because when I was a choir director, and anybody who knows me personally can tell you this, I have a 4.5 octave range where I could give sopranos the best run for their money while I'm teaching them. But of course, here we are almost 20 years later, and I'm more of a natural low bass than anything else.
Right.
So, but then again, there's also a gravitas because I hadn't been through in 2007 what I've been through in 2026.
Yeah, so some people do play it on the station. You got a couple of them that'll go pull it and they'll play it. But currently, I am working with a producer, and he is currently working on some things for me. So, and it's a great thing.
Right. And you know what? By the time you get done with it, I already gave you the address, WJIC.com. And you're going to get consideration because we are now family. And that's what
Thank you so much. And you know what? All you guys always remember that how can we tell if a station is playing our music? We could go right back to the report. The reports don't lie.
Absolutely.
So if you say, okay, I'm playing it, then guess what? Because I'm going to tell you what happened to me. One of my artists was getting spins, and all you guys are listening because it's the truth. He was getting spins in the beginning from a station. So what I did was in the middle of the time, I went right back and I looked, and guess what? The station stopped playing the music. See? So now I had to go back and say, what happened? So it's things that, even as a promoter, because Tony D is a promoter, you got to watch these things.
And not just that, but Tony D is an artist. And because of the relationship that we have, and because my deep love is smooth jazz. In fact, I wanted to be a jazz musician when I was in school,
Oh, wow.
But the Lord had other, but because of the relationship that Tony D and I have, and because I know he puts out quality stuff, then anytime he sends me out, guess what? Instant ad, because that's right behind my wheelhouse of what I love. In fact, my station is basically a microcosm of everything that I love. I love gospel. I love Afrobeat, CCM, holy hip hop, smooth jazz. Basically, my station is me in a nutshell.
Okay. I have to send you something. So, and where are you located?
I am in Prattville, Alabama, which is 15 miles northwest of Montgomery, my hometown. So trying to represent Alabama the best way I know how.
Are you going to be at the GSMAs?
I'm not going to be there, but I will be at the Spin Awards in October. Like I said, that's kind of my my homecoming award show. And then as part of the Global Indie 100, we're going to have our own award show in the first week of November in Cleveland, Ohio. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be in Alabama, so maybe
Oh,
I can let
yeah. I just thought about it. You're right. Third weekend in August, Robert Barnes with
Yes.
So I will be there representing the Global Indie 100, and that's right up the road from me. So I look forward to seeing you there.
All right, sounds wonderful. You guys keep chatting it up in the chat room. They going back and forth. They just having a whole conversation.
Oh,
but
my
anyway,
what have we started?
Yeah, they talking. So Tony D said thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
what Joe says, I don't know your business as far as the industry goes, but the sound I hear is you're both about God's business.
Absolutely. Because that's what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for coming on to Chopping Up with Queen Alicia. Anytime you need this platform, just make sure you let me know. Okay.
Well, like I said, we got that relationship like that now. So
yes. Absolutely.
But thank you so much for honoring us. This is really the first time I've had a chance to really talk about the WJIC network in a nutshell. And we really hadn't even scratched the surface of it. So we might have to come back and get more in depth about what the ministry is all about, because it's a part of WJIC Media Ministries, and we try to do what we do to spread the gospel by any means necessary.
Wonderful, wonderful. We want to thank you guys too over there and Chopping It Up land. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you. I'm enjoying Pastor Cedric. Go follow him. Tracy Morgan said this was good. Enjoy it, you guys. Joseph said, amen. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening, and stay tuning. And again, if you do not follow Pastor Cedric Barnett, you need to follow WJIC Network. Follow that now. Don't forget. And Pastor Cedric Barnett. Okay. I'll put everything down here so that they can follow you. Oh, there go Mr. Bobby Parker just popped in there.
What? Oh my God.
You late, Bobby. He's on tomorrow.
I saw. So I'm definitely going to be on there and shout him out tomorrow night as well.
Yes. Thank you so much. Any last words? Do you have any last words for anyone?
Well, once again, I just want to shout out everybody. Mom, I hope I did you proud, because I know she was listening tonight, as well as my wife. And I'll also shout out my classmates, George Washington Carver High School, class of '83. Some of them were tuning in tonight, as well as alumni of Auburn University. But because I know Tracy's husband Keith is listening, so he and I graduated from Auburn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that's fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor, once again, and anytime. Thank you for being here tonight. Have a great night.
Thank you. And everybody continue to be blessed and continue to be a blessing, because the Lord does not bless us except he intends for us to be a blessing to someone else. Thank you so much, Queen Alicia. And until we meet again, you all be blessed.
Tony D says you're a good dude.
I try to be. Only by the grace of God. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. Once again, woo, from the voices behind the mic. That was a powerful and good interview. Again, follow me. I am throwing everything over onto my YouTube page at Chopping Up with Queen Alicia. It's hard, but I told you I need another person that's Alicia. I need another Alicia. Why didn't my mom have twins with me? I had the twins. She should have had the twins. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight, sharing this wonderful interview. I just want to let you know something. Again, be kind to people, right? It goes a long ways. We just talked about artists. We just talked about the quartet industry. Y'all, please don't let the things that you hear mess you up. Stay focused on what God's trying to do with you and only you. When we get outside of that, we're wasting time. we're wasting time. So just make sure that we stay focused in on what God has called us to do. Yeah, there's going to be some rough people in the churches that we attend. Nobody's perfect. The church is just like a hospital. Everybody comes there, wow, to be healed, right? So we got to remember that you are being healed, right? Because none of us are perfect. Every day we are striving to become the best thing that God has made. He wants us to strive. He's waiting for us to do some things, right? He still wants us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, tell others who he is, right? Nothing else, but please, the garbage, the distractions of what the quartet world is doing and all of this stuff. And again, it's not just quartet. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but this is the world. This is the things that are happening with artists right now. It's a stressful world. It's literally a stressful world, right? So do some things. Get out the house. Talk to your friends, your true friends that love on you, love on them back, right? And always remember that God has your back no matter what you do. But never say that I'm not going to church because the people. Never do that. Go to church. You should go to a Bible teaching church. Every church is not the same. So make sure that you go to a Bible teaching church that teaches you the word of God, and you can see, right? You can see what's going on there, right? You could see people transformation. You could see people getting healed, people being changed, people being transformed. You can see those things. But when you go to a church and you don't see any of those things, right? It's not the church for you. And always remember that the church is not the church itself. The church is something that's in you. So please make sure that you have a relationship with the Almighty God. My God, that's it. I love you guys. Nobody told you today that they love you. Always remember that I love you. If you need me, you know where to find me. All right, stay out of trouble. All right. Thanks for chopping it up with Queen Alicia.
Chopping it up with Queen Alicia, where every word is clear and true. From deep talks and open dialogue, join the conversation. Explore real relationships and pass the growth.
Chop it up with Alicia, the queen. This is the podcast you know you're gonna need, hun. Chop it up with Alicia J today. She's dropping them nuggets, the stuff you really wanna say on relationships, the situationships, married or single, and even if you wanna mingle. Chop it up with Alicia, the queen. Today, yeah.
Discuss hot topics and let your knowledge flow.
The queen. Let's chop it up.